Hello, 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 and welcome to BUB'S Comics. I'm your host, Bub. Today we're going to be going through the pickups that I made at the Lexington Comic and Toy Convention 2023, where, yes, we were VIPs, very important personages, and so let's see how we did.
You're watching Bub's Comics, Bub.
All right, so had a great time. It was super fun. This was the best it has been. I've been going to Lexington Comic and Toy Convention since it started. I think I may have missed the first year or the second year, but basically went to the first 4 out of the first 5 that they had or so. It's been really great. Every year it gets bigger and bigger. The convention center that they hold it at has been revamped, so that was really nice. And I have to say that there was more Golden Age here this year. I honestly could recommend this now to Golden Age collectors. In years prior, there's no way. I can't tell you how many times that I've gone up to a booth at this convention in years past and said, "You got any Golden Age?" And they're like, "Nope." And there's none on the wall, there's none in the boxes. You might find 1 or 2 Golden Age books and they want crazy prices because they don't even know how to price them. So you get your best Golden Age comics from Golden Age dealers, people that know how to price it, who understand condition, who don't just think anything prior to 1960 is worth $200. Although a lot of it is, some of it isn't. So anyway, without further ado, let's make me small and get to the hall. Yo! Boop. There it is. All right. So, like I said, VIPs over at the old whatnot there. It was great. I mean, everybody was super nice, super friendly. I met up with Jambo Comics, our good buddy, and he was able to I think he got there right before me, so I kind of work in the area now. When I'm not working from home, I can work in the office, so that's what I did that day. And so I had the inside track. I was ready. I left my car parked at work and just hoofed it over, and boy did I find out what terrible shape I'm in. But all that aside, it really worked out great. Everything, timing was good. VIP, so we got a little bag, we got a t-shirt, and they had great t-shirt sizes all the way up to 5X, I believe, and they had, like, I don't know, 23 or something shirts to choose from. That's huge. So in addition to that, we got this, I think, very cool exclusive comic, The Amazing Spider-Man Cat and Spider Sitting in the Tree. The Amazing Spider-Man number 21 is a Lexington Comic-Con variant, if you will. I'm so unlucky in love, and it's all because of that black cat. So a classic romance feel to that. That is just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. Oh, and by the way, I met Cal Dodd, the voice for Wolverine, so you may hear some of that spattered around. Super nice guy. My son and I met him, and he was just absolutely cool. So I had him. He's using a sketch pad, and I bought it off him because I wanted it. So that's how we do things. But super cool guy. Can't say enough about old Cal Dodd, so thank you. It's the only celebrity really interaction that we had, and we're happy about that. All right, next up we got Rangers Comics. This is number 64. We got some Golden Age here with fire hair. Look at that. Does this not please you? Cowboy Bob, Suicide Smith. Look at that. And many others, it says. That's pretty impressive. I'm digging that. Very happy with that. Picked it up for not too much. This first booth I was at, so I'm going in the order in which I received the books. So the first booth we were at had tons of stuff, and I hated, you know how it is. You go to that first booth, you just don't want to spend a bunch of money on that first booth. You're like, no, too much. All right. So we ended up being very careful, but still it's one of the best booths. I forget the name of the dealer, but they've been to this convention, every convention in the area. They're one of the bigger dealers that come to these shows in Kentucky. So it was super cool to get some books from them. Without a doubt. I mean, really cool. I'm very happy for it. And they also had this great Wally Wood Frontline Combat number 13 cover. Front cover still there. Actually, I think the back cover might be there, but maybe not. I don't remember. But anyway, check that out. Very cool. Frontline Combat number 13. Great Wally Wood cover art. You guys know I'm a big Wally Wood fan. And then another dealer that used to be around more often, and I think he might have taken a break. I don't know if he had some health problems or something like that, but nice fella, super nice guy. One of the first comic booths I'd ever purchased from. And I remember one time, I think he got robbed. Like, he was there and he stepped away or something. He's a one-man show. And he stepped away and some people walked off with some wall books. I mean, you can't, I know everybody's like, oh, you can't do that, but still, he was a super sweet guy and you just hated to see it happen. So I always make sure that when I go to his booth, I find something to buy. And so they had this there, Flying Aces from January 1941. And check out that Schomburg cover. That is awesome. So this is not a comic, it's a magazine. That goes over, it says fact, model building, and fiction of airplanes. So it has stories, it has some fictional stories, and then it has like all modeling, you know, schematics and things like that. Pretty cool stuff if you're into that, but I'm into the art. And that Alex Schomburg, and you guys know I like planes. I like planes and tanks, but I think I like planes more. So that's pretty cool. I was digging that Schomburg cover. So far we're doing pretty good. You know, we got Wally Wood, Schomburg. That looks like a Maurice Whitman to me. So we got Maurice Whitman, Wally Wood, Schomburg, Alex Schomburg. We're doing pretty good. Well, I finally, this was my big book of the haul, and not because I didn't get good deals everywhere, but this was a huge deal that I made on this one. A great seller was there from Instagram. I've seen them, the Buzzard Brothers on Instagram. Absolutely fantastic sellers. They're always selling on Instagram and probably other places as well. I know they go to conventions, but I'm not good at buying on Instagram. And the main reason is because when these live claim sales are happening, I like to check every book. Like for me, I like to look through and see how much they're going for, where else can I find them for what price, and all that. I guess you could call it indecision, but I call it research. So all that research ends up biting you in the butt when you don't get the book, because someone else is like, I trust that seller, I'm gonna buy right away, I'm next, you know. And I like to negotiate prices too, especially on Golden Age books. I like to buy it in person and I like to negotiate. So I haven't been able to buy anything from them online, but I know a lot of people do buy from them. And also, you always kind of feel like you should build a box, because once you're paying for shipping, you really need to get your money's worth, and that adds pressure and cost. So I like to buy in person. They were there, finally had an opportunity to buy from them, had fantastic prices, willing to negotiate, you know, reasonably. So we ended up with this book here, Space Adventures number 10. With an absolutely fantastic Steve Ditko cover. And you got to know that for me, the Spider-Man Steve Ditko stuff is good. But to me, this little Space Adventures is Steve Ditko's finest work, in my opinion. Look at that. Looking good. Look at that. You got the guy in the suit. We assume they're not robots. They could be robots, but probably not. Rocket ship. He's tossing people down. There's a Ditko's signature. Look at that. Space Adventures number 10. Condition is brittle, but they worked a good deal for me. I couldn't leave it behind. That was the book that just, it spoke to me. That whole run is on my list to collect, and so when I saw it, I just melted. And I was looking at another book in the convention that was at the very top of my budget, like for the whole convention. So I was thinking about blowing all my money on one book, and I was able to hold off And when I saw this book, I knew that other book wasn't going to happen because this book is just too awesome. So I went over, I took a picture of the other book, looked at it, trying to decide what I was going to do, held that picture up to this book and said, I'd rather have this one. And so now here we are. Super happy to have that one. All right. So next up, these are also books that I picked up from that same seller. So let's take a look here. We got, well, on a different day. So that was Thursday. I went by myself, but also me and Jambo kind of stuck together on Thursday. And then Friday I went back, and Friday I was with my son. I brought him with me and we had a great time. Big fun all day. I was gonna try and go Saturday, but I was freaking exhausted. So on Saturday, this is all I picked up so far. And then I did pick up these pops on Friday when I was with my son. There's Eagly from the Peacemaker. Love that. Absolutely love that. I think that's so cool. Very, very cool. And I had the other ones, but I get real picky about my pops. I want them to be just perfect. And if they're not perfect, I don't have room for them because I got so much stuff in here. Really can't be overloading on pops. But I did see this Bo-Katan for $3. And I could not pass up Bo-Katan for $3. So that's how that happened. I had a whole bin of them for $3 each, and I was like, really? I'm surprised with the Mandalorian new season coming in, and she's featured heavily in it. I'm surprised that they didn't I'm surprised that these didn't just get bought up. But I like Bo-Katan as a character. I've been digging the series so far, so that's a win for me. So I picked these up on Friday when I was with my son. Then I went back in cosplay on Sunday and hung out with my wife. I brought her along, and she was in cosplay too. And we just had a big time partying at the Lexington Comic and Toy Convention on Sunday. Had a little too much fun, but you really have a little too much fun. So that was great. Thank you to her for that. And you can go to my Instagram and see all my cosplay stuff. I'll be posting some more pictures of those as they, come through. So check that out at BUBSWORLD 181. So, all right. So here we go. Jungle Comics number 92. He had two copies of this issue, and I picked the better one. We were able to work out a great deal. Look at that. I love all the monkeys and gorillas on there. W your pleasure, W your fun. Down there is Kanga and Anne, maybe? Can never remember the girls' names. Look at that. Look at her little outfit. He's charging them all to go get him. Very cool. Number 92. Very, very cool. And this one has been on my list for a while. Fight Comics number 52. Fight Comics has a whole little run there where they're nothing but just awesome bondage covers in a row, and this one's no exception. Again, they had two copies of this, and I picked the better of the two. Fight Comics number 52. Check that out. Got the tigers coming in. Very nice. That's an adult Wambi, the Jungle Boy. And they've got her tied up. One rope around her neck, and she's tied around her back dangling on another rope, and another rope at the end. So she's not going anywhere. That looks fantastic. Digging this Golden Age stuff. And we found another one. Couldn't turn this down. Jumbo Comics 146. It's a little on the rough side. Nice Sheena cover. And look at the elephant battling the crocodile. He's pulling him out of the water. You can see the water dripping off the croc there. Look at that. Nice Maurice Whitman cover. I love the way Maurice Whitman draws women's faces. I mean, I like the way he draws their everything, but I like the way he draws their faces particularly. Very striking features, nice hard lines. I like that. Look at that. Elephant versus crocodile. Put in the comments below who you think would win, the elephant or the crocodile. It makes no difference to me, but I think it looks like the elephant's got the upper hand right here, but maybe the crocodile wins in the end. You just have to see. All right, so then going around, kind of went back to a booth that I had seen some wall books on. He had some what I would consider very, very, very fair prices on some things and wild prices on something else. So it's always interesting to me when you come to a seller who looks like they know exactly what they're doing in one space and undercutting everybody by 30-40%, and then in another way they're like they have no clue what a price should be. So on the undercut stuff, I was able to pick up this Fantastic Four number 66, graded in a 3.5, and you know, they say Mylar magic. Well, there's such a thing as, you know, we say this is encased in solid air, but there's slab magic too. So Mylars make things look extra pretty. Well, so do cases. I don't pick up a lot of slabs, and I don't send that much off to get graded. But when I see a book that's already slabbed, and this isn't a run that I'm collecting as a reader run, like my X-Men run, my early X-Men, even the, you know, the sub 94 X-Men, those are all raw so that I can read through them. In fact, all my X-Men books are raw unless I have a duplicate. But this Fantastic Four run, I'm probably going to get most of them slabbed eventually because I just love the art on them. Nice Kirby cover there. Absolutely fantastic. Just love it. There you go. Fantastic Four number 66, a 3.5. And then, so as good a deal as he had on this, he also had some Golden Age books on the wall that were like, whoa, what are you doing with those prices? Now this is Sunday, and we went dressed in cosplay for a little while, like a couple hours, and then that got too hot. We were done with that. I knew that would be the case though. And then my goal for the rest of the day was just to shop bargains. So everything, every table, every booth he went to, they were all lowering their prices, so it worked out pretty well. I picked up this Jumbo Comics number 67, so nice early Sheena. It has a bevy of store stamps. Actually, he had two issues of Jumbo Comics, and both of them were covered in store stamps. This was the better of the two. The other one had red stamps, and it was just all over. It looked like the cover was bleeding, so I was much more happy to get this one. I love buzzards actually on covers, especially in the Golden Age. I think they just look great. You got that big old buzzard attacking her. Fantastic. Love, love, love that. All right. Same fella had some of these, you know, these are more like run fillers. So I'm working on this Adam Hughes. So there's Adam Hughes 150, Wonder Woman 156 of the Adam Hughes run. And then we have Wonder Woman number 233, and this is Garcia Lopez. So I've been collecting a lot of the Garcia Lopez run of Wonder Woman, that book, and these were good prices for these books. These are books that I already had on my radar, that I already knew that I wanted. So to be able to get them affordably is a big deal. That's always the most fun, is when you already know that you want the book, and then you find it for a good price. You're like, yes, I'm glad I held out and waited. Here's Batman, Harley and Ivy number 2. So this is Bruce Timm interiors and cover, and a Paul Dini story. So you really can't go wrong with that. I mean, that's a pretty good little run there. I'd like to collect the whole thing. They get to be like 20 bucks a piece, and I start backing away. But this one they had at a real fair price. Oh no, was that Garcia Lopez? Can't remember. It might not be. This is Garcia Lopez for sure, with Batman 311. Been after this book for a while. A lot of low grade copies of this book. I thought this one was halfway decent. And I love the way Garcia Lopez draws Batgirl. He's probably my favorite Batgirl artist. So there you go. Very cool. And I picked this up because I had a cat. You guys know I don't pick up a whole lot of art Germ. I used to have this book in the foil variant, and it looks okay, but it's kind of all washed out. So to get this colorized one, it's got the cat and everything. That's pretty awesome. I like orange cats. All right. So next up, working on an Adam Hughes run, Catwoman number 59, with old Adam Hughes there. Still working on that run. Didn't have that one. Fair price. Took it. Those are the books I picked up at the convention. But then Jambo back on Thursday night, he was like, hey, I got some books for you. He was driving his work van, so he had his van parked outside. And one of the many times I've fallen for this, somebody said, hey, I got comics in the van, you want to step in? And once again, old Bubsy fell for the old trick, comics in the van, but this time there really were comics in the van, not just trauma. So here you go, Iron Man and Hellcat Annual, very cool. Another art germ there, so 2 art germs this weekend. And then he gave me this, The Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love. This is issue number 3, and this is actually a pretty sought after little run. I think the title switches, I think, around issue 5 or so to Forbidden Love of the Dark Mansion or something like that. They kind of reverse these, but these first 4 issues or so are pretty well sought after. And I guess the collected works of them are something special. So good to read that. It's an ongoing kind of story, so you got to pick it up from the beginning and read it through. So pretty cool. And this was a book that I kind of claimed from his stack of books. So one of his most recent hauls, he showed an upgrade copy of Jumbo Comics 160. So I was quick to claim the downgrade copy. I knew I had something for him to hand off to him anyway, so I was like, yeah, well, maybe he won't mind to throw that my way, and he did. So thanks, Jambo, for that. So Jumbo Comics number 160 right there. And we picked up a couple of little odds and end things here and there. Here's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mount Rushmore. Look at that. Isn't that something? I really dig all these little 3D printed booths that they have. And I'll be showing a few more little knickknacks like that I picked up at the show. You can go ahead and check my Instagram out for that. And it was big fun. Just had a great time. Cosplaying on Sunday was one of the highlights. Meeting Cal Dodd, the voice of Wolverine from the animated series, was another big highlight. And it was nice that I had a highlight with my wife, I had a highlight with my son, and I had a highlight with my friend Jambo. Just the entire time walking the con, we were not within more than arm's length of each other the whole time hunting, and that's a lot of fun. So it's cool when you're always when 2 people are after the same books. It's even more fun when you hunt together, because it's a little bit competitive, but it's more cooperative, and we just had a big time doing that. So shout out to him. So there you go, that's my haul. I hope y'all enjoyed that. We'll catch you next time on Bub's Comics, and remember to read a comic and don't apologize for the glare. Bye bye.
Now subscribe, you egg-sucking pieces of gutter trash. Now.